Late Night Health continues hour 2. Our guest is this hour, James Lavelle. Jim's been on the show a number of times. He's a registered pharmacist. He is a certified clinical nutritionist. He's a naturopathic doctor. He has the Performance and Rejuvenation Center at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he resides in Southern California. We've met a couple of times, but never in California. Always in, I think, Nevada, I think in Las Vegas. Anyway, there's a new picture of Jim and his arms. It looks like he's been working out with heavy weights. Jim, welcome back to Late Night Health. Is it true that you know, as we get into the new year, that people, you know, they join gyms and then they don't go, but they do things like tummy crunches, sit-ups, weightlifting, trying to turn fat into muscle?
Well, I think there's a whole bunch of things people try to do in the new year, and they just don't end up following through, right? So the big one is that only 8% of people will follow through on their New Year's resolutions. So, you know, I'm going to go and do crunches. I'm going to go to the gym and work out every day. That just doesn't happen for most people. And most of the time, it's because they're trying to bite off a little too much at one time instead of taking a good, logical, progressive goal setting that will allow them to be successful in the new year. And I mean, I know that's a lot to expect, but what I'm trying to tell people is do less, not more, until you're able to do more.
Well, you know, you just said something. You said we bite off more than we can chew. And I think that's the biggest issue Americans have, in that we supersize everything. And we are indeed biting off more than we can chew.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. People are taking in too many starches, too many sugars. I don't think they get enough quality protein in to help them to build muscle. When you start a new diet, you know, which a lot of people will start diets 4 times in the coming year, most of the time when people restrict calories, they lose muscle. And you got to remember, muscle is the currency of your metabolism. Muscle is the currency of your aging process. The more you can hold on to muscle and build muscle, don't become what's called sarcopenic, or the loss of muscle, the better off you're going to be. And I think that's where people got to think about in the year 2018. And you're not going to get there only training 1 or 2 days a week. And if the other thing is, if you stop training, in as little as a week, you start losing the gains that you got. So it's about consistency and about really trying to develop a strategy that's going to work for you.
And what about, you know, older people? I mean, I've been reading some interesting studies on people in their 80s, even 90s, who do light weightlifting and turn fat into muscle.
Well, you know, I think people are able to gain muscle, but, you know, fat is fat and muscle is muscle, and you need to retain your muscle and lose your fat. And I think people can build muscle even in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. I think you got to start creating edges, like things that are easily absorbed. So there's something called muscle protein synthesis that you're looking for. How do you make muscle? Really interesting compound that's out in the market. It's a complex called velocitol, and it's made up of a starch called amylopectin and chromium. And velocitol, when taken with protein, so like a whey protein, and even better, in one study showed that if you add branched-chain amino acids to it, it doubles your muscle protein synthesis. And this was in women and men both. So I really like velocitol in 2018 because it's something simple that people can take after they work out, and they double their rate of muscle protein synthesis, which is what everybody over the age of 50 needs to get to.
Right. And, I mean, there's a number of internet marketing videos saying, hey, guys, if you're over 50, 60, 70, you can have flat abs. One of them is missing breakfast. They talk about certain supplements, and they talk about, you know, boosting your testosterone levels.
Right. Sure.
Right.
Well, and I think that things like the fasting mimic diet. So you can look at the work out of USC Center for Longevity, the Keck Center. I think that doing a modified fasting, you know, where you even do something like it, where it's called intermittent fasting, where you don't eat after 7 and then wait until 9 a.m. the next day. That can be effective 2 or 3 days a week. That can help you out. looking at your testosterone levels are important. I think, obviously, as we're aging, for some men, especially the more stressed they were, the higher the stress level, the more you inhibit your testosterone production. So if you're that business executive and the weight's coming around your waist and you're noticing you've got the whatever syndrome and you don't have the strength you used to have and your attitude's different, testosterone could be an issue. And once again, I love, if you're going to work out, try to work out 3-4 days a week. Start out at 20 minutes. Yeah, we want to get to an hour, but start out at 20 minutes. Drink something like the Velocitol compound. You can get that at GNC's got it. I think they've got something called Precision BCAAs that has that in it. So you can use tools like that. And I don't like to use the word biohack because I think it's kind of a bit of a blended term, or a term that's just, it's good pharmacology and good medicine when you start thinking about how do I enhance my chemistry in my body and my metabolism by using things that will help me to be able to get more efficient. So work out, try to get in 4 days a week, try to make it up to an hour eventually, but start out with 20 minutes. Try making sure you're taking in protein after your workouts to help to build that muscle, because remember, muscle is that currency that's going to help you to age gracefully.
What about prior to the workout? Last time I worked out, was a while ago, and the trainer that I had said, I want you to, carb up before you work out.
Yeah, if you're only trying to work out to lose weight, there's a lot of wisdom in trying to fast before your workout. So if you can work out in the morning and do that, hey, I'm going to stop eating at 7 p.m., I'm going to work out at maybe 7 a.m., and I'm going to eat afterwards, that can be a really effective tool. And I'll tell you, one of the funny things I try to tell people nowadays is I want them to try to fast between meals, right? Because it's really hard for people these days to not just eat all the time, because food is so plentiful that we just grab it and go all the time. And a lot of times we even mistake that I'm thirsty for I'm hungry. So getting in that water, although that sounds like that's a simple recommendation, drinking enough water can also help limit your appetite. So, it depends on if you're going to do a 2-hour workout or you're going to do a 20-minute workout. A 20-minute workout doesn't require, pre-feeding in order to succeed. A 2-hour workout is probably going to require taking in a little bit of starch, and certainly take protein with that starch, because, too many people are using these high sugar drinks before they work out, and that's going to cause your blood sugar to disrupt.
And what about drinking a cup of coffee or a couple of shots of espresso because of the caffeine? Does that help your workout?
The different people are going to weigh in on that differently, right?
Right.
I've seen plenty of literature that says, 150 milligrams of caffeine before a workout actually is a pretty good ergogenic aid, and actually is a little bit thermogenic. You're going to burn fat a little better. As long as people aren't sensitive to the caffeine, meaning they have a crash or they stay up late at night because they're poor caffeine metabolizers, I'm okay with people taking in a cup of coffee before they work out. Doesn't bother me a bit. I think that you have to be, you got to be focused on, is it good for me or not? How do I feel when I take in that cup of coffee or an Americano or a couple shots of espresso? Am I edgy? Am I jittery? If you're edgy and jittery, probably best not to train with it, because that means your nervous system is too sympathetic dominant. You already have too much adrenaline rolling through you, and your nervous system actually will become less efficient if you're working out more than, say, 20 minutes, for example.
You work with a lot of sports teams.
I do.
Orlando Magic, Corvette race team. That's they sit down. They're driving. What are you talking? Anyway, Chicago Blackhawks and even the Anaheim Ducks. And you're working out with professional athletes. What about, I'm going to say couch potato radio people like me that sit a lot?
The troubles are the same. I mean, athletes push themselves too hard, and therefore their immune system gets out of sync, and it makes them more prone for injury. When you're a couch potato, radio host, which I'm not saying that's you, but you're actually having the same immune stress because you're not working out enough. Obviously moderate workouts are best for health, when you're working out, with a professional athlete, they're pushing their bodies hard. However, that's what they're doing for a living, so they don't have to do an everyday job. They can just, after they're done with their workout, they got the rest of the day to recover. I actually think it's harder on you, when you're a couch potato, because you're working all day long. You got the stressors of work, and you're probably seated. You got to get up and move. I love things like the smart watches now that are saying time to get up and go. At least get up, stretch, move around for 5 minutes, and then sit back down. Get that spine extended, get your oxygenation and your breathing, and I think that's all really good.
And that's why I actually have my glass of water in another room, so that if I'm working at my computer, I'll work for 20 minutes, maybe a half hour, get up, walk into the other room, have the drink.
Strategy. What a smart strategy. That's great.
That's our new book. It's the Jim and Mark book. I didn't mention, and I should have, Cracking the Metabolic Code, Nutritional Costs of Drugs and Your Blood Never Lies. Those are just some of the books that Jim has written. We're going to have Jim back in February. He doesn't know that yet, but we'll figure out a date, and we'll spend some more time with him. And we will have an article on LateNightHealth.com, as well as a picture of his beautiful face and wonderfully large arms on our website very shortly. Coming up next, we've got Karen Howard, the CEO of the Organic and Natural Health Association. Don't go away. More coming up.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website, powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. That's 800-489-8751. Attention users of the blood-thinning drug Xarelto. If you took the drug Xarelto and experienced complications such as cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, you may be eligible to get a cash award for your suffering. Call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 1-800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150. To qualify for a cash settlement, you must file a claim before the deadline, so don't miss your opportunity for a cash settlement. Call 800-264-3150 now for a free, no-obligation consultation. Our call center is open 24/7. So if you took the drug Xarelto and experienced cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding, or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 800-264-3150. 800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150.